Hello, good morning, good afternoon, Kalimera, Yassas, as they say here in Greece. You're here tuned in to Patric Young and the Rowdies. I'm your host, Gator basketball great Patric Young, currently stationed across the Atlantic Oceans here in Athens, Greece, to give you all things Florida basketball and more. First off, I want to thank you from wherever you are, from the bottom of my heart. It means so much to me and the folks at the Field of 68 Media Network that have helped to make this podcast possible. Thank you for listening. Now, could you do us another favor as we walk this journey together by liking, rating, reviewing, sharing this podcast so we can get this out to the people that are interested in Florida basketball, sports in general. It doesn't matter. But anyways, I know you're excited about our guest. I can't wait to get into it. He's got a lot to say about this upcoming year. And without further ado, here is Anthony Duruji. I'm so excited about our next up-and-coming guest. He is the new number 4. You know, it still hurts my heart to see someone else wearing my number, but I am so grateful to have this redshirt junior that I've gotten a chance to get to know and love up on, and I'm so excited for him coming into this year. Without further ado, here is the one and only Anthony Duruji. What's going on, Ant? How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, Pat. I'm doing good, man. All is well, man. It's grinding. That's all. Grinding.
It's been a heck of a year of grinding, huh? Just coming off of your redshirt year, you sat out, and then coming into this new season after the NCAA tournament had gotten canceled. What has it been like coming into preparing for this new season with college life being so different and everything that's going on?
Yeah, it's been much different. Just with the whole COVID situation and everything like that. Definitely have had to really be patient. I'll say throughout this redshirt year, just coming into this season, one thing that I've grown in is patience, and really embracing the journey. School looks a lot different. Obviously, we're, doing Zooms at home. We're not really, socializing. We can't do that or just meet with, other people and stuff like that, like the whole college lifestyle and everything. So it's really been just Zooms and then working out, really, you know what I mean? But like I said, it's been a grind. It's definitely been a big adjustment, but you have to be able to adapt, just continue to get better.
So let's, Gator fans, they probably don't recognize you yet, but I guarantee you're going to be a household name this upcoming season. Let's get to your journey. First off, where are you from? Let's fill in people that don't know you about some basic foundations about Anthony Duruji.
Okay, yes. So I'm originally from Bronx, New York. I lived there until I was about 5 years old. Then I moved to Maryland, Germantown, Maryland, and that's where I was raised. And that's kind of where I've been, the majority of my life.
So growing up there, got on the high school AAU circuit and ended up, what was your path with basketball at that point?
My path was kind of crazy. I went to 3 different high schools. That's something that a lot of people don't know. But I started off going to, my public school, 9th grade year. And then I actually went to a private school in D.C., Archbishop Carroll, And then I transferred midway through back to my public school. And then after that year, for my 10th grade year, I did not play basketball. I just ran track in my public school.
What?
Yeah. And then after that next year I left. And then I transferred to St. Andrews, which is where a school in Potomac, St. Andrews Episcopal School. So thankful for that community. They embraced me. I really became a better student of the game, just a better person, and really was able to kind of thrive and find a home over there.
What led to all the different transfers? What were the factors into that? Was it just family, or just you the way you were being used, or what led into all those different decisions?
I think it was really, as a kid, I moved a lot, and I didn't really have as much, I would say, stability. I would say, and when you're young, I was coming out of middle school and I just wanted the best for myself, and the public schools around our area weren't the best, so I knew going to a private school was probably better for me, but so I wanted to really go to a private school, and then things just didn't really work out. So I guess it was really God kind of using that time um, to just develop me, and like I said earlier, like really embrace my journey. So it definitely has built a lot of character in me.
It's it's amazing. I've learned throughout the years just not to judge the moment, because we know success isn't a linear path. That there's many hurdles and things that look messy in the middle that get us to another place in life where we're like, wow, if those things didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am now. And another place that you went for a little bit of your college career was at Louisiana Tech. Tell us about get first off the recruiting process and then your time there.
Yeah, so the recruiting process, like I said again, coming out of high school, I committed in my 11th grade year. I verbally committed, and that's kind of like something that you don't really do. I committed without even taking a visit, and I was pretty kind of naive in the recruiting process back then.
Hmm.
So I ended up at Louisiana Tech. I still did fairly well over there. My first year there, I didn't play. Um, I was just kind of, freshman learning curve, everything so fast. I didn't really understand, how my coaches wanted to play, and it was just really tough for me. But as I continued to get better, and continue to strive, and just continue to grind, I earned a starting spot. And then once I earned a starting spot, I pretty much just took off from there. So I would say my time at Louisiana Tech would be seen as pretty much a stepping stone, or it was a development type of period. You know what I mean? And I just always been stuck to the process. And I just always stayed the course, and just embraced my journey throughout. So Louisiana Tech is always going to have, a good place in my heart, and it represents a good place in me.
So after these first 2 years at Tech, obviously you decided you wanted to make a change, or just things lined up for you that you did. It seemed as though God led you to make a decision. We got an opportunity to speak about it earlier this year when I was staying in Gainesville in January and February, and it was just looking at Baylor, which was one of the final teams that you decided not to go to.
Right.
They were #1 country at the time at one point before the pandemic. What led into your factors of deciding to go to Florida over Baylor?
Yeah, so like you said, Baylor was really big. I think Baylor, had really great culture. Obviously, they're #1. Great coach, Coach Drew, great coach. But something drew me to Florida. I don't know why. It was kind of last minute. And Coach White had coached at Louisiana Tech before I came there, so there's a little connection over there. But I just really like Florida. I love the legacy that Florida had. I believe that Florida had great culture. Um, it was just very appealing, and I felt like it would help me. You know what I mean? As a man, as a basketball player, all the connections and network, the people I get to meet. Even having a relationship with you. You know what I mean? That's part of coming to Florida. So really, that led to my decision. And as soon as I took a visit to Florida, I kind of pretty much was just like set, and I was like, yeah, I'm coming. I'm gonna be a Gator.
Yeah, I think you definitely think you made the right choice. But obviously, coming out of a year where you transferred, this whole past season, you had to sit out and get acclimated to Gainesville. Uh, this is a time where you really focus a lot more on your life outside of basketball, as well as staying in love with the process, staying in love with getting better, getting acclimated to the system. Opportunities, people that you've met, how have you grown in that 1 year of sitting out that you think is going to not only just translate to you being a better basketball player in person, but for the rest of your life? What are some things that you learned in this year of sitting out and being patient, as you said?
I learned, you know, I learned really that I'm a man of faith, and I learned that God really He prepares leaders in like a slow cooker, and it's not He doesn't prepare leaders in a microwave. So I really, um, I really learned the virtue of patience, and patience is such a big thing in my journey. Just seeing, like you said earlier, everything is not just up. There's going to be some highs, there's going to be some lows. And I think throughout my year, just being able to sit out, I've fully been able to be found in God, and follow God wholeheartedly, and figure out, his purposes for me, which is bigger than basketball. You know what I mean? So I really just been able to find purpose, and that has really kind of changed my life. I usually tell people I think me sitting out and not playing basketball was like one of the best years of my life. And it sounds funny, but I was really able to be embraced by community, find people here, work in the community, serve, and really find purpose, for my life. And I think that's going to follow me all the days of my life, just being a leader, and being a servant leader in the community. And that translates on the basketball court as well. You know what I mean? So that's
How can you not love this guy? I mean, seriously, he's what are you now? 20, 22, 21?
22. Yeah.
22. When I met you, you were 21, and literally the first conversation that I had with you, you're just like, I just know my life is more than basketball, and I'm trying to serve and just be and I'm just like, who is this guy? Who is this guy that's so wise beyond his years that is literally giving me a slice of humble pie? I'm caught up in a little egocentric thinking of myself, and then I got this young guy that's sitting out a year talking about how he can serve and be a better leader, and I'm like, I want to be like him. But tell me about some of those relationships that you got to form, and the things that you've got to do in the community. People, they hear you doing these things, but maybe they want to get involved. They want to kind of it's hard right now being able to showcase and involve people, incorporate them right now because of COVID. But what are some things that you've been able to do in the community, and how have you gotten connected, and with whom have you gotten connected with?
Yeah. So I would say, spiritual elders, obviously in the community. Kevin Sides is a guy who has been a tremendous blessing in my life and has pretty much helped propel my relationship with the Lord, and just helping guiding me on the path that God already has for me. So that's one guy. And my man Joel, who's the chaplain for the football team, has also been a big impact in my life. You know what I mean? Just being a man of God, a man of integrity, high character. He often talks about purpose a lot. You know what I mean? And he is a pastor at a local church greenhouse that I go to as well. So they have really been able to help me and guide me in the direction that God has for me, on a foundational level. And I've been able to, work just campus ministries and sports ministries, whether that's Big Monday events. I know you're familiar with that, and your time here at Florida, where, varsity athletes just come and discuss faith, life, and sport and how they all intersect. Being able to lead Bible studies this summer with some of my peers, principles of an athlete, and just knowing how to implement our faith in our sport. And then now, me and my parents ended up finishing our last week of men's small group Bible study. So that's been a lot of things I can do in the community with like helping and volunteering at local elementary schools. I know I was serving at Patric Young last year throughout my sit-out year, and I was blessed and able to be baptized not too long ago at the swimming pool, the UF swimming pool. The coach over there granted us with permission, and the authorities granted us permission. Scott Strickland and the AD was out there and everything like that, and I was able to bring my teammates and people in the community with me. Yeah, it was a blessing, man.
That's incredible. So say that again, so people can hear that again. You were baptized at the UF
Right.
Swimming pool in front of Scott Strickland, the AD, the head swimming coach, and your teammates. That had to be nerve-wracking, a little bit at first, right?
Yeah, it was just like, wow, like the AD of the school is like, and it's just like, man, that's favor. It's favor from God, because I think Kev was telling me like that's never really happened before. And
No.
I was just like, wow, like a dude like me, like I would.
Well, man, it's just awesome just to see how you've transformed and to continue to grow it. People will wonder, or I guess not a criticism, but I guess they'll say, is this newfound faith that you, not newfound, but is this affecting your competitiveness in basketball? How is this going to affect you being that competitor? The guy, everyone, he has a 44. I think last time we spoke, it was a 44-inch vertical. I'm not sure. Is it higher or lower than that now?
That's probably the same. It's probably the same.
Probably the same. 6'7" with a 44-inch vertical. But anyways, how can I ask this for you exactly? How are you going to, especially making such a bold statement in your faith and where you stand and who you're trying to be? How are you going to balance your competitiveness on the court with your humility and your others focused mindset?
Right. Yeah. That has definitely been something that, I would say coaches have assessed about me at times, the competitive spirit. And, people often misconcept, the faith and, Jesus and like, Christians are, nice and supposed to be kind. And that is true. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean I can't be bold, and play with a lot of passion because the Lord has gifted me with all the talents that He has for me. So with that, I'm giving it my all, when I'm on the court, whatever that looks like, and it's gonna be in a humble way, you know what I mean, and it's gonna reflect on Jesus. So I think growing in my faith only helps me as a basketball player. It helps me as a leader. To encourage my teammates, but it also helps me to be a hard worker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to demand anything out of somebody that I won't demand out of myself. Because you have to serve, and that's the best way I feel like to lead is to serve.
As I just said, wise beyond his words. You're blessing me. It's a blessing to have you on. But yeah, it's very unfortunate that our society at times wants athletes to strictly only be athletes, not to have voices, not to have opinions, not to chime in on anything that they have an opinion about. And it's almost, you're almost in a position as a man to be feared because you realize your life is so much more than basketball.
Right.
Yet you're in the middle of something that you believe is your purpose and your platform, and you're going to use whatever God has placed you, and you're going to give it the best you got.
Right.
And knowing that, to be in a position where, I don't need this what I'm at, because God can use me for so many other things.
Yes.
Yet I'm here and I'm going to use where He has me, and I'm going to be the best and give my best every day, man. It's got to be so encouraging for you to continue to have that mindset every day.
It is. It definitely is. And I always, remind myself that, like you said, use basketball. Let God use me. And I always have to keep that mindset and not let basketball use me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And as long as I keep that mindset, God has brought me to Florida, and I'm sure He's going to continue to bring me to newer heights.
He absolutely is. So I got to talk to Coach White about this for a little bit. The whole aura or just environment of the team it just seemed like one thing was missing to help the team close games, to stay competitive, because outside looking in, Florida basketball had all the elements it needed to be successful. I mean, not that the program hasn't been successful, but, our Gator fans, they want wins, they want championships, we want rings, etc. From your perspective, what could you see was missing from the basketball team last season?
I feel like the will to win, and like passion. I would say the will and passion. Um, I would say, you just play to win, and you don't play to not lose. And I feel like sometimes there'll be times where we might get discouraged, and then play not to lose, or I want to play not to like mess up. But I feel like just the will, like you have to go out there, you have to have fun, and you have to play with passion, and you have to play for each other. You know what I mean? And it's like it's fun playing basketball that way with a group of guys, and you guys are
Yeah.
all in. You know what I mean? Locked in and playing for each other. So I'll say that's like the biggest thing. And I think it led to a lot of inconsistency, with us. But I think we're trying to just take leaps, this year, and just hopefully just, be bought in very early, and be consistent, and always play to win.
Gosh darn it. Just had my thought. I had a good question to ask you following that one. It's coming back to me. They edit this, so they'll cut this part out. Gosh, man, I had a good question. I had a good question to come into that, bro. About the team locking in, consistency. Man. Okay, I'll just move to the next one. So tell me, coming into the season, what are you seeing your role for this team? And because fans haven't seen you play, they can go back and look at old tape at La Tech, but you're a different player, you're a different man, you're going to be using a different system. What can fans expect to see when they see you this year?
Right. I think fans can be able to expect energy, high motor, I would just say versatility, defense, rebounding, and then on the offensive end, just a guy who can spot up, shoot. My game is still developing, and but my main focus really, we have such a lot of guys who can score the ball. Guys like Trey Mann, guys like Noah Locke, Keontae Johnson. You know what I mean? So I think my role is fairly easy. I just come in, focus on playing hard, playing with a lot of passion, and just being a good teammate. Making the right reads, and really just starts on the defensive end, and then I think offense kind of carried itself over. But I would say motor.
Yeah, I mean the best advice I can give you, just keeping it simple, is motivation in general gets you started, but it's creating the habits every day that pays dividends. Coach Donovan talked about it in our first podcast about fighting for inches, because at a certain point, it's really hard to get everything you want to get in during the season, especially as far as the way you want to work out, getting extra shots, because the most important thing at a certain point is how fresh are you coming into each game, being in the best condition that you can be possibly. And, it's doing the little things, being an everyday guy that, okay, I probably can't work on a certain aspect of my game at this high level, but I can work on getting this many shots up. I can do some extra mobility stuff. I can get some extra film. I can get in early with the trainer if he can point to any weaknesses or things I have. It's just having that mindset that of now that you're a professional. You're professional now because you're a public image, a public figure, and right now your body is your business. Right. That we know you're more than that, but for now, 22 years old, you have the opportunity to use your body for wherever God is going to allow it to take you. But
Right.
I wanted to ask you, and Coach White spoke about this in his when I had him earlier, um, that the team has gotten a chance to bond. You guys have gotten a chance to bond so much more in the midst of this pandemic, and that we can expect the level of basketball probably this whole season, upcoming season, to be very high. What are some things that you guys did to fight boredom, fight boredom of just sitting around and boredom of the process? Because at one point it's just the dorm and the gym, right?
Right. Yeah. I think I would say the biggest highlight was the fighting for social injustice. And we were really able to go march for those issues. And I think a lot of people came out, and it wasn't just the basketball team, but it was other student athletes. And I think anytime you're able to bond outside of your sport, is really big. And with people who share the same the same passions and compassion and care for those issues, then it's really big. Um, so we were able to see people in other lights and just seeing them for who they are, more than their sport. And I think in those environments, we truly were able to connect. Um, and we had a lot of Zoom calls throughout this quarantine, um, along with just calling each other. Like I know I tried to call, all my teammates and talk to them to see what they were doing, and just really taking the initiative, to reach out and like
Yeah,
talk. I think it's not a lot of people do that as much, but just trying to get to know people like just who they are, aside from
yeah.
basketball. We were able to. Coach White gave us some opportunities to do that. Um, just get to know each other.
Wow, you gave us so much to dig into. I mean, from the aspect, how did the university and the basketball team help to open that door for you guys to march? I know you and Scotty Lewis have done some things in fighting against social injustice. How did that door open up for you, and how did they, pretty much lay the red carpet to help you guys stand up for what you are voicing?
Right. Yeah. So Coach White really, throughout this quarantine, he was the one who was kind of really encouraging us to just use our platforms. It's 2020. Um, Being a college athlete is fairly a little different than it was, the years past. Just with us being able to use our platforms for a greater cause. He was the one who really kind of initiated that, and he actually gave us an opportunity to talk with the UAA in the athletic department, and all of them. I think it was about like 170 people on the call, and it was just a time where they can really just listen to our experiences.
Wow.
That was great. You know what I mean? And I was just thankful that the whole UAA were giving us athletes that platform and that opportunity to just share ourselves, our struggles, and just learn from each other overall, ultimately. So that was like a really great experience, and kind of just shows the culture of the Florida Gators.
Man, that's got to make you proud to be a Gator right there. It has to.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, Makes me really proud to be a Gator.
Right.
Makes me really proud of my university.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it to you for not only yourself, but for other student athletes to express their creativity and individuality?
Yeah, I think it's really important, man. I'm just a guy who I really like when people express who they are, and like I like seeing other people's passions because I think in society a lot of times we can just really box people in, and well, you're this and you're a basketball player, you're a singer or you're a writer. But the thing is, we're not created just to be just one thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And complete
Right.
them. Um, there's much more to us, that we're very complex. And you should express all that, and you should, express. If you can sing, sing. It doesn't matter if you're a basketball player. Like, people have many gifts, and I think you should use it and you should embrace it and not be ashamed. So, being all that you were created to be is always what I'm for.
Speaking of which, somebody on Twitter, people that follow you on social media would know that you do. Uh, you've posted a few poems and some lyrics in here and there. Do you have anything that you would like to share with us today? I know I text you. I'd love for you to express some of that to the fans to hear your work.
Yeah, I could share this one right with you. I actually performed it at Big Monday, but it's called God is Good. God is good all the time. He opened my eyes when I was blind. Seek the kingdom up high, and all things shall align. Wind draw or tide, I'm fine. Lord, deepen my faith like fine wine. As time continues, I get better because of your sweet grace. I just want to taste of your steadfast love from above. All praise to you because you are true. It's because of you I'm still standing here. Because of you I shall not fear. Transform my heart like a work of art. You are the master artist, creating a masterpiece in me. Peace you give unto me. My soul longs to be with you. Help me sprout like a tree and flee from the things that are not of you. I want to be all that you created me to be. It is in you that I am free. God is good all the time. All the time. God is good.
Whoa. Man, how often are you writing?
I'm not writing as often right now. To be honest, I was
You act like
writing.
you got something to do next week or something.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Like you got basketball or something going on. Oh wait, you do.
I used to write a lot last year when I was sitting out and the boys would be on the road and I wasn't able to travel. But I've been able to try to, and I'm just, spending a lot of solitude and quiet time. Sometimes, I might just be inspired. I might just start writing. Um, so I'm always going to try to continue to really just perfect that craft and continue to explore.
Hey man, that was very impactful. I hope you continue writing. I'll be mad at you if you stop. Um, please put that. Don't the one thing that I've come to learn. One thing that I've come to learn as well in this life is that um, the pursuit of truly being yourself, of figuring out who you are, what you love, what's valuable to you, it can take some time. But when you can be around people, when you can finally let go of that fear of what people will think about me, it can be so transformative for
Right.
yourself because I want friends and I want people around me that are going to love me when I'm my true, genuine, authentic self, flaws and all.
Right.
I don't want to have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not and fake doing something. It's, that some situations are different. When you're married, you got to sacrifice for your wife sometimes to do things you don't like. The marriage ain't gonna last very long if you're like, I don't want to do this all the time. But yeah, definitely, brother, continue that pursuit. Continue staying rooted and grounded in who you are. Um, Going forward, got a few more questions for you, my man. What are your ambitions as an athlete, and what do you want to achieve through playing basketball? Not only this year, um, but if you had a vision board and you write down 5 years, 10 years, or when I'm done playing, what are some things you hope to accomplish?
Things I hope to accomplish. Well, for one, however this may look like, I would want to max out um, as a basketball player and be the best version of myself. I want to use basketball in a way where I impact people and I help them explore their other passions. And then I want to use basketball really to empower the youth. I have a heart for serving, like I said, and I want to show kids that you don't have to just be one thing. and just you were created for so much more. And then lastly, but most importantly, through God using me for basketball, I want ultimately to use basketball as a means to lead people to God, and seeing my life and seeing how I play, that they can see the love of Jesus, and that ultimately they may know that God is a relational God, and God cares for them and wants relationship with them. So
Amen. Man, that's some powerful stuff, bro. Gosh, I'm really excited for not only this year, but just that I've been blessed to be a part of your life, even if for how long it's going to be. I'm always cheering for you. I'm super excited for the season. I wish I was going to be there. I wish hopefully somehow fans are able to hop into the old dome and get that thing rocking some kind of way, because it's weird playing without fans. But I'll tell you, man, people see your heart. They see getting a chance to get a picture into not just you as the number 4 and just the guy that jumps really high, but they're going to see how much you love wearing orange and blue, how much you love God, and how much you love the community and the world serving you. So anyways, Anthony, thank you so much for your time. You have been the 4th episode of Patric Young and the Rowdies. Everyone, please, if you get an opportunity, rate this episode, share. At Anthony, go ahead and shout out your Twitter and Instagram handle.
And my Twitter is Anthony_Duruji. That is Duruji. And then Twitter handle is Ant Duruji. ANTDURUJI.
You heard it. That's the man himself, Anthony Duruji, redshirt junior, playing for the Florida Gators, wearing number 4, 6'7" forward with a 44-inch vertical. Cannot wait to see this guy high flying. Anyways, again, this was the podcast. Please rate, share, subscribe, review. Get it to anyone that's a Florida Gator basketball fan or just a basketball fan in general. Thank you guys so much for this time. Gator Nation, stay rowdy.